everybody, and welcome back to our channel. This is Cold Fire.
And I'm Kit.
He's back with us again.
And as the picture clearly states, we're going to have a hot topic today. We're going to discuss on...
Whether to circumcise or not.
Yes. That's a political term.
Yes. And this is something that...
I call it something else, but we won't go into that.
We have both, as men... we discussed in acknowledgingly about this since I met you, and I've talked about it even before I met you.
I do not think it should be done. I believe it should be left up to the child when the child turns of age. And I'll explain it. This is my view, so if you don't agree, okay. But this is my view on it. And I'm going to use mine without being interrupted by Cold Fire. Today's transitioning. Okay? If a man or woman decides that they want to transition for whatever reason, they cannot do so until they're of age. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What is the...
Actually, no. Some states
states
starts hormonal therapy at the age of 5.
Well, then I don't know how the 5-year-old would know, but so be it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to circumcision, back during the day, circumcisions were done due to a religious factor.
And sanitary reasons.
Yeah, but nowadays you don't got to worry about that.
Correct.
But also because of the fact they wanted to, religious, not parents, parents didn't realize it. The religious factor wanted to desensitize the male genitalia and hoped to just use it for procreation, not
masturbation,
not entertainment, so to speak. So I personally, I am cut. And that is the one thing that I resent my parents for doing. And there are times where there are people out there, men, that cannot get aroused because it was cut improperly.
And why were they not aroused so much, and why did they have a problem with being circumcised?
Because they cut too much foreskin off, so when the penis gets hard, it stretches and cracks the skin. And it's painful.
Do you think that this is, which has been medically proven, but I'm just asking you the question, you know the old saying, are you a shower or a grower?
Okay.
The doctor doesn't know at birth.
Correct. You don't know.
So whenever they snip and you hit puberty, and let's say you're above average than the typical male,
you're no longer above average.
What does that do to the penis?
Shrinks. Well, it doesn't shrink, but it doesn't get as big as it can.
No, it gets as big as it can, but what does it do when it does that?
It hurts.
And why does it hurt?
Why don't you just say it? I'm not a doctor.
I'm just trying to get you to say what we're all trying to say. It stretches the skin and causes breakage and causes damage to the penis.
I said that like 30 seconds ago. But anyways.
Well, I mean, if we're going to get an open discussion, we need to do it right and just not hold back.
Yeah, well.
Speak the truth and shame the devil. We're showers and growers. And the doctor has
no clue.
8, 9, 10 years experience in the medical world of how to snip the penis. But he will never know if the guy is going to be below average, or way above average.
Well, size isn't even the issue, in
my
opinion.
Yes, it is. Well, it is for a lot of guys that are circumcised, I'm trying to put it into words, but they don't know what it's like to feel the sensation of not being circumcised.
Well,
How does that sound? Does that sound
yeah,
better?
that's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
And the reason being is, I believe that it, by doing so, has desensitized me. And the reason I say that is because, think about it. The foreskin is meant to protect the head of the penis.
Which are glands that stimulate.
And what happens now? Back during the day, they didn't have something called underwear.
Well, also back during the
So-
day, the penis was just used for procreation.
Not according to Spartacus. Anyways, you know, I gotta joke a little bit.
Well, I mean, it is a joke situation
Yes,
that we live in.
but
Where does it end?
no,
Why is, I want you to tell me, why do you think that, okay, if everyone, and this is where it goes back to equal rights. Okay. I remember when I worked at Claire's, and parents would bring in their infants because they were girls.
Mhm.
And I would sit there and have to punch holes in their ears and put earrings in.
correct.
Okay? It killed me inside. That baby was crying. And I'm like, and I even had one woman stop by and she's like, why are you doing that to that kid? I said, ma'am, it's my job. I have to, or I'll get fired. She's like, well, that child should have that decision when she turns 18. Because maybe she don't want to have earrings. And I think it works the same way with the men.
No, and I agree with that. I do.
Because
And because, like I said, being circumcised, you get desensitized because nowadays you're wearing underwear, or even if those people who don't wear underwear and they go commando, it's still rubbing on the cloth. So in my opinion, it gets desensitized. I don't know what it's like to be uncircumcised, obviously.
I read in a medical
But I would love to
column
be.
somewhere that they have now proven that it desensitizes the penis by about 100% of the feeling that you should be experiencing. And most men don't know how much stimulation they could be achieving if they're not cut, because they don't know what it's like, because they still have some sensation.
But
So they think, well, this is all it can do. This is the most sensation I'm ever going to get.
now,
Until you talk to a person that has not been circumcised, and
Now,
what do you
and-
hear?
it's a lot more stimulating. And anyways, I know some parents use the excuse of sanitation reasons.
Well,
But
that should be taught by the father at a
well, that should be
perfect
taught
age.
by, well, I don't want to say father because
Or
there's
in health education.
there are so many families out there that only have a mother or have two mothers, but or two fathers or whatever.
Well, like in sports.
The bottom line that I'm trying to make is parents should not do it because it's easier for them. They should let the child make a decision as they get older. And I'm not saying 18 has to be the case. It could be, if by 13, you'll know whether or not you want to be circumcised. Because usually your average first experience, whether it is masturbation or with another person, is usually going to be between the age of 12 and 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would know by 12 or 14 whether or not you like it being circumcised or uncircumcised. Plus, by then you'll know whether or not you can actually keep the sanitation under control with it and all that. So
Another good question I want to ask you is one of the few things that men do have control over as far as their genitalia is vasectomies.
Correct.
Most men will have vasectomies after they have um, reached a certain age, or they just. It's mostly married men that once they have enough children and they're with the same partner for years, they come to an agreement instead of the woman being on the pill or having something done to her. Some men are now optioning to say, okay, we're equal in this relationship. I'm going to get a vasectomy.
Well, not only that.
It's my choice because now I can still have the freedom to be with you sexually, have the stimulation, but not worry about having more kids.
Correct,
And they can also have it reversed if they do remarry or decide to have more kids.
but it could also be a form of not even if they have enough kids. What if the man doesn't want children at the age
Correct.
of 18 years of age, and he decides, I don't want kids.
And there are people out there that do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're consenting adults.
I'll tell you a short story about that. I think it was yesterday when I was at work. I was talking to a lady, and I work retail, so there were some kids behind, looking at stuff and making a lot of noise and causing my skin to crawl. I am not I don't hate children, but I would never be a parent. I've always known I would not be a parent because it's not my thing. So the lady was asking me after the kids left, and we were just talking, and she asked me if I had any kids, and I said no. I said at 18 when I was legal, I went ahead and got a vasectomy done. Obviously back then, she didn't catch the part that back then we didn't have vasectomies, but that's okay. I just wanted to see her reaction.
No, I'm
20 some years ago, we didn't have them back then.
Yeah, I don't.
But she
something
didn't.
I've never
She
looked
didn't
up.
catch it. But then again, who knows how old?
I think
she
it only
was.
came about the past maybe 10, 15
Yeah.
years.
So she may have only.
And it's becoming a trend.
Yeah, she may only thought I was 30 in my 30s, anyways. But whatever. I digress. And first thing out of her mouth is, "Well, isn't your mom upset that you're not having kids?" I'm like, "No, that's what my sister's for." That's exactly what I told her. I said, but I had the conversation, and this is what I told her. Obviously, it wasn't true. I had a conversation with my mom and told her I didn't want to have kids, and she was all for it.
Well, she said,
And
no, I believe
said
her words were, "Thank God I don't have to babysit."
Yeah, but
Between you and your sister,
yeah, so
hers keeps me
yeah.
occupied.
After my sister had kids and everything, and my mom had, she was like, "Thank God you didn't have any kids." She goes, "That means I don't have to babysit 4 children."
Well,
but
it's,
I love my mom to death. My mom loved her grandkids and all that. But that was the point I was trying to make. The first thing out of the stranger's mouth was, "Well, what about grandkids for your mom?" I'm like, that would be my life, not my mom's. My mom would respect that. And
it's not about
but-
your mother's right.
but-
It's about your
correct.
right.
So if circumcision is about your right and your life, I'm sorry. If vasectomy should be about your life and your right, shouldn't circumcision?
Can I just say something?
Why not?
Okay.
You do anyways.
How old do you have to be to buy beer? Even when I was in the military, and even today,
21.
you have to be 21 to buy beer. How old do you have to be to buy cigarettes?
21.
Okay. How old do you have to be able to consensually have sex?
15 or 16 to 18, depending on the state.
Correct. Okay.
How
So
old do you
why?
have to be to die for your country? Only 18.
Yes.
Sometimes 17.
Yes. You could be 17. You have to be 7. You can join. You
16
can join the military at 17
or
and
16,
die for your country.
Or 16 with your parents' permission.
Which I found that. I mean, we're getting a little off the subject, but while I'm at that, when I was in the military, there was some in there that were 17. I was like 21, 22. No, because I was legally able to drink. But you could join the military at 17. But even though you were in the military, you still could not drink until you were 21. Which I thought was really ironic, since if you're old enough to die for your country, shouldn't you be able to be able to drink a beer every now and then? Because
Yeah, shouldn't you be drunk?
being
when
in the
you're ready to
military
die?
is stressful. Trust me, I have
anyway.
PTSD from it. But I beg the I really see the situation, because I have a Prince cut, which is partial.
Correct.
I'm not going to deny that.
I know you do.
I didn't even know what it was, but it was something no one ever taught me that I should clean and then dry underneath. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that I knew was logical.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you get in a shower or you're taking a bath, you know that you're supposed to and go in your ear and clean it.
Yeah.
You know you're supposed to go up underneath and wash and pull up, and
Yeah.
even a coach, if you're on a sports team, he does have that say. He will, not perversion, but it is their job to notice the guys and give them health advice. If they see that there is a problem going on, I've heard this many times.
Oh, yeah. It's also,
They get trained to show them how to properly take care of the hygiene, whether it's athlete's
foot,
feet,
yeah.
jock itch, stuff like that. They'll tell them, this is what you do for jock itch. You need to start doing this. So, to me, I believe that we are in a society now where I believe that men should not have anything done to their bodies until they reach a mature level, whatever the age may be.
I agree.
That is when they find out, okay, I don't like being uncut, so I'm going up under it.
Because you can't reverse it. Well, you probably can.
Okay, and this is another thing that I like to add. Do they do it for free whenever you're born?
I don't know.
Or is it a charge?
I think it depends on the religion.
No, what I'm saying
I
is,
honestly don't know.
I'm being realistic right now.
Yeah, but I honestly don't know.
There should be a clause in there, if it is, that says, okay, the woman and the parents decide, okay, listen, I don't want my kid circumcised. I'd rather for him to, when he reaches a mature level, let him decide that. I don't think that it's right for us to do that, because to me it's mutilation of the male genitalia, and people don't see it as that. They just see it as it's
It's just a piece of skin.
It's just a piece of skin hanging there. Yeah. What's it gonna do? Just to, let's just cut it off. Obviously, whether you're religious, especially if you're religious, and that's the reason why you're doing it. Think about this for a moment. If you are religious, don't you think God put that there for a reason? If not, would he have not had extra skin grow there? No, because God was smart. He knew that there was growers and showers. So he's like, I'm going to leave a little bit of extra skin there so that whenever they reach puberty, they grow into it. And more sensation means more procreation, instead of the other way around. Don't circumcise the penis and then expect more procreation. Another thing is, it's almost like the same thing with a woman's right to choose. No one but the woman or her doctor should know what she wants to do with her body.
Okay, now we're getting off subject.
No, it's the same as a man. It's coming down to the same thing. The government is moving more and more and more, taking away more and more of our rights. They're taking away women's right to choose. They're taking. This has been going on since the beginning of time, and I think that
This has nothing to do with circumcision.
men should petition and have the right to say circumcision should be left up to the adult male when he turns into an adult.
Oh, you know what someone needs to do, and that'll end the circumcision war?
What?
A male that turns legal age, hate to say it like this, sue him.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Kids when they reach a legal age of, well, not legal, but I think 15, 16.
But then you really couldn't sue the doctor. You had to sue your parents.
That's who you need to sue. Doctor's just doing his job, just like you with the ear piercings. Doctor's just doing his job.
Yeah.
You sue the parents, and guess what?
No.
Other parents
No,
across the country.
I back that up. If you sue the doctor, then maybe it'll get down the line that the doctor, before he starts a snip, to say, listen, I can be sued for this later on, so you got to sign a form right here stating that.
But again, the signing of the form by the parents isn't going to prevent the kid.
Yeah, but
So,
it's a reason for them, because they do have a surgical procedure now where you can go back and add the skin.
Yes, and it's also a lot more painful.
It's very painful,
So
and it's very expensive.
And no one's going to do that.
But I have heard on plenty of sites that
and it's not
when the man gets his skin back, even at the age of 80, they said that whenever they got their skin back, they got their sex life back.
Okay.
Because maybe that's the reason why so much ED is going around and the blue pill is so popular now.
Great,
because you see it advertised everywhere.
Well,
I mean, men can't even get it up anymore at the age of 30. Because, and I believe it severely has to do with mutilation of the genitals. It's because they're losing their sensation because they're going through their 20s and they're having...
I am going to say you are correct on that. But, back to what I was saying. I don't think the doctor needs to be sued. However, I do believe that, because kids nowadays...
Well, they sue the doctors if they abort a baby.
Well, and I don't believe in that either. However, like I was saying, I do believe that kids nowadays at the age 15, 16, I've heard of lawsuits, them going against their parents because of...
Well, they can do...
whatever reason. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember,
emancipation.
Yes.
You can be 16 and emancipate yourself. Correct. And sue your parents.
And you still can't drink.
Yeah.
However, what I'm saying is, if they were to sue the parents for circumcising them, and I'm not saying for money or what have you, but it would start a trend, because that's exactly what happened. People, if they did that, I guarantee other parents would second guess.
Well, it's why we're discussing this, because hopefully someone out there will, look and say, should I circumcise my kid, or should I wait and let him decide to do that?
Yeah,
and if it gets down the line, because we have talked extensively with a lot of guys that we know, straight and gay. And they tell us, there are some that are cut, that say that they have no problem. But most of them are really young. I mean, not like underage, but they're like
Mid-20s,
millennials, basically.
Mid-20s, early 30s.
Yeah, but they don't seem to have half of them don't seem to have a problem with it. And it could be that
That's when you get older.
They are still young and everything, so
Correct.
that testosterone is through the roof. I mean, you can basically... Never mind. That's
Never mind,
probably...
don't go there.
Yeah.
But
But their sex drive is way up there. So the stimulation, they're not going to feel the difference. But whenever you start getting 30, 40, and 50, and the sex drive starts going down, you need that extra stimulation to start making you
now,
feel like a man again.
now, also the friends that we have that are uncut, we've spoke to them, and most of them love it.
Oh, yeah.
They
I've
love
never heard
No.
any guy that's told me when I ask him, they're like, oh my God.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, there
It
are...
is so wonderful because I don't feel so stretched. I don't have that. I get the stimulation. It's a safety net for the head of my penis.
And also, I know a lot of people, women-wise, prefer either cut or uncut. They prefer that. But with all due respect, women, it's not up to you. It should be up to the man. And if you don't like a man because of that, then in my opinion, you're too superficial. You know.
Yes.
And same thing goes for where if a man doesn't like a woman because her breasts aren't big enough or her booty ain't whatever, yeah, they're superficial. Dump them. But
Right.
you know, same thing. Don't men should do what they want to do because it's right for them.
Just point blank, I think that I think it should be illegal to circumcise a man
At a young age.
at a young age without his consent.
Yeah. Clarify.
Because if we want to go through our country and say that this is legal, you can't have sex until you're 18, you can't drink till you're 21, but we can circumcise your penis as soon as you come out of the vagina.
Well, it's not as soon as it,
that's
yeah.
called hypocrisy.
So
And it's something that should be looked into. And like I said, there is a reason why we're born that way. I mean, like they say the appendix has no function for the body.
I don't think it does.
But it was put there for a reason.
Yeah.
It obviously was.
Till it bursts.
Yeah. But if it bursts, it can kill you.
But I think it had something to do with when you were in the fetus. But I don't know. I'm not
Yes.
a doctor.
Yeah.
But
But
anyways,
it's the same logic. I mean, it's the same as
But that's
later on in life whenever you want to have cosmetic surgery.
so. Anyways, that's our thoughts on circumcised or uncircumcised.
So what do y'all think?
Comment in it. Let us know. Because I'm curious to see what other people think that we don't know on a personal level.
Yes. And kind of leave the comments a little...
Try to keep it PG-13 at the most, please.
Just don't attack us.
Yes.
We're just
Giving
debating
giving
and
you our
going
opinion.
over hot topics, just like most shows do. We're just expressing our point of view, and
if you would like to know our point of view on anything, let us know.
yeah,
We'll be more than happy to do some hot topics on stuff you want. Now, keep in mind though, if you do, and we don't give you the reaction that our opinion on doesn't match you, please don't get upset with us. But that's what we
Yes.
are. We are honest. We will tell you what we honestly think, nice and professionally.
like I say, we don't sugarcoat, just to get
But
your
anything.
attention or
Anything's a game.
do
Just
that.
So you know,
We-
as long as it's
You're gonna hear the
Legal.
truth from us.
political, we will discuss political views. We will discuss personal views, just as long as it is. Well, if we don't deem that it's appropriate, then yeah, we're not going to discuss it. But we will discuss just about anything.
Absolutely.
So let us know. Subscribe, comment, and like, and let us know what you think on this view of circumcised or
And-
uncircumcised.
And let us know to be circumcised or not. Peace out.